Leah, thanks for joining us today, all the way from Los Angeles in the USA. Hi, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, what it is you do, how you got to do what you do, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Yes. Hi, Tracy. Thank you so much for having me. I love this amazing opportunity that you're offering to help empower women learn how to improve their life and their wellness and ultimately just optimize their health. So my name is Leah Drew. I am a pain management specialist and a movement specialist. My background is in massage therapy as well as personal training. And on top of that, I am also a level 8 certified ANF, amino neurofrequency therapist. Hell yeah, we're both rocking it here. So ANF therapy has absolutely changed my life, and I have found amazing ways to integrate this into my practice. My clients love it, mostly when it gives them that instantaneous pain relief that they're always looking for. But ultimately, I take a very outside the box approach to not just pain management, but also movement and holistic health, integrating the mind with the body, because I truly believe that you can't separate the two of them. And the way that I really ended up getting into all of this work was when I was younger. I was a senior in high school, actually, and I found out that I had a pancreatic tumor the size of an orange. And it completely changed my life and completely changed my health moving forwards. I never understood how much it was going to impact not just my physical body, but also my mental state. I ended up developing after surgery some really severe anxiety and depression, and started to understand, after practitioners really weren't able to help me or give me answers, that a lot of this was coming from my gut health. And that's where I really, for the first time understood and saw that link between how the mind and the body was connected. And from there, as you know, I just went down the rabbit hole and never came back.
Oh, for sure. And I think once you go down that rabbit hole, it's just a whole world of opportunities and learning and things that you just never, ever get exposed to. Okay, so within your practice and your treatments and your movement stuff that you do, can you tell us how you can support women with their wellness specifically?
Absolutely. There's many ways I can support women with their wellness. One of the most common ways that I do support women is often after they give birth to babies. A lot of women come to me after they've had C-sections, and they're experiencing some lower back pain, which is very common after a C-section. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One of the major reasons for that is due to a loss of intra-abdominal pressure, which is also known as intrinsic core strength. And there's so many ways that we need to work with strengthening, especially the female body after a C-section, because not only do we need to increase the core strength itself, but we also need to integrate breath work, and we also need to do a lot of educating to these women as to how to actually massage their scars and pay attention to the scars. I love to give this little analogy that really makes sense to a lot of people. When we have construction on a road, right, and they put up a detour sign and we start taking a different road to get to our end destination. That's what scars love to do within our nervous system, is they put up this detour sign and start telling our body to start taking a different route, known as quote unquote compensatory patterns. And our bodies continue to take and use this compensatory route until we can retrain the system to remove that detour sign and start using those pathways again. So there's a whole lot more that goes into strengthening the female body after surgery, abdominal surgery in general, but when we're talking about women, what I most often see is post C-section needs for strengthening the core and reintegrating movements into the body so that they're no longer experiencing lower back pain. Sometimes it might show up as neck pain or shoulder pain or other areas as well.
Okay, cool. So is there anything that maybe you could suggest that women could do at home to support themselves?
Absolutely. My first recommendation would absolutely be to start doing some self-massage to your scars. Scar tissue forms not just directly under the scar, but surrounding the entire area, and kind of forms like a spider web to connect onto as much fascia as possible to try to gain stability. And so one of the biggest recommendations I can make is massaging your scar tissue, right? If you think about your baby or your child, right, when they're hurting or when they need us, we instantly reach for them and gravitate to them and pay attention to them. But we forget to do that to ourselves and to our bodies, especially to our scars. So one of the best and most important tips that I think that I could give right now to all the women watching this is starting to massage your scar. And I have one here so that I can show you how to do it.
Awesome.
So if you take your scar, I don't know if you can see that there,
Yeah.
but it's not necessarily like a massage. I think a lot of us have had a massage before where we go and they're doing a lot of rubbing and effleurage around the body. What we really want to do is we want to think about almost like kneading bread. When you knead bread, you kind of hold and allow the bread to kind of stretch a little bit. And that's what we want to do with our scars, is think about a vector, north, south, east, and west, and everywhere in between, okay? We then have rotation in a clockwise and a counterclockwise direction as well. And we can also lift and pull. There's many different ways that we can manipulate the scar tissue. But I want you to choose one way to start and just hold it there. So I'm just going to pull my scar north and just hold it north. And I just want to breathe into the area. Imagine breathing breath, especially if we're thinking about working with abdominal scars, bringing your breath into that area where the scar is and thinking about expanding the scar away. You might feel like some pulls in other area. It might be a little bit uncomfortable. You might get muscle spasms. Like as I was doing this, I got a muscle spasm in my tricep. And that's normal. That's okay. But we want to think about just holding in one direction, and then you can start to combine. So I'll pull north and add a little bit of like a clockwise or counterclockwise twist, and just thinking about allowing this fascia and that scar tissue to just kind of relax.
Awesome tips there. Okay, so would that be your top tip for people to try at home?
I think that would absolutely be one of my top tips for those that are experiencing any discomfort, any tightness, and that do also have scars. One of my other tips would definitely be integrating breath work. Breath work is the foundation of everything. It's the foundation of life, and it's the foundation of health, and it is the foundation of strength. So if you're not breathing, then we definitely need to be. It's a problem. But there's so many forms of breath, and that's why I think the breath is so fascinating, because there's so many different ways that we can do this. One of my favorites is breath for relaxation, and I think especially right now with the state of the entire world, that's something that everybody really needs to be implementing into their daily routines to help improve their self-care. Because I know, there's a lot of moms out there that have kids at home to take care of. They have families to take care of. And one thing that we forget is that we can't fill up other people's cups and support others and take care of others if we're not taking care of ourselves. And for me, that starts every single morning with my me time and my breath work and my meditation and my journaling. And I do like to recommend to try to do that for yourself if you don't have any young toddlers that are awake yet. Try to give yourself that time first at the beginning of the day before you give your time to anyone else. I think that's a really, really strong tool to use. And in regards to breath work, if you want to integrate some breath work into that you time, some of my favorite forms of breath work are nasal breathing to help stimulate the vagus nerve, and focusing on a longer exhale than you do inhale. So for example, if you breathe in for 6, breathe out for 8. I like to sometimes add a little bit of a 1 second or a 2 second pause at the top of that breath and at the bottom of that breath. And breathing in and out through the nose will help to calm down our nervous system so that we're not in that fight or flight state, and that we can actually allow ourselves to calm down, decrease our cortisol levels, improve our ability to sleep, improve our relaxation, and just overall increase our cardiovascular support, and just optimize our health overall. Everything. Breath is everything.
It's awesome. Yeah, breathing Definitely on board with that. Okay, Leah, so thanks for all the tips and advice there. If people want to get in touch with you, or where can they find you? How can they contact you?
Absolutely. So I am Mind Body with Leah, Leah, everything spelled out, on all social media platforms. Facebook and Instagram are my primarily used platforms for sure. But you can also find me at mindbodywithleah.com, and I'm here to support in any possible way I can during this time.
Awesome. Thanks very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Tracy, and this is amazing. Thank you for doing this.
It's a pleasure.